Now, I know that some supporters of Maness would argue that, wait a minute, we did so well in say the North Shore.
Yes.
So why would we not do that? Was 2 years ago, and we have so much more face persona recognition.
Yeah.
Why would we do so poorly now?
Well, my thought about that is you have to go back to the fact that it's a crowded field. And is there any special killer app kind of message that Maness has? And I really can't think of any, to be honest with you.
Okay.
2014, the way I looked at the Maness vote in 2014 was it was basically an outlet for those who felt that Cassidy was not conservative enough. Mm-hmm. But if you're a conservative voter, you have quite a few alternatives this year. And I think that Abhay Patel has the potential of causing further problems for Maness, but it all depends on to what extent he can go on TV. I mean, like I said, I saw him on Fox News. I don't really know to what extent that he can expand beyond that.
Mm-hmm. Right. Gotcha. Okay, so let's see. We were, I think the next would be Kennedy. Am I correct?
Yeah.
Next in line. So,
Kennedy's a statewide elected official, and he's run before, so he obviously has the name recognition factor. Another thing that I think can work in his favor, well, he has money. That's another obvious advantage. He's very well funded. Another thing that I think can work in his favor is that he has the ability for the quotable phrase, about drinking weed killer and so forth. And those are the kinds of things that get picked up in the press. And so he does have the advantage of saying things that catch reporters' attention.
Sure.
And plus, in his years from being treasurer, he is infamous for talking about specific aspects of state government financing that he thinks are wrong. And so I think that gives him an advantage as well.
Right.
Until the 1-2 punch, so to speak, of the Southern media and the JMC Analytics poll, the presumption was he was the front runner. And front runner psychology is a very powerful thing because when you're perceived to be the front runner, nobody, meaning political observers, donors, and so forth, question that assumption. Now, of course, once you lose front runner status, that makes it doubly much harder. But while you're the front runner, life is good. And I think to some extent that's something that up until recently benefited John Kennedy.
Absolutely. I mean, he definitely seemed invincible.
Yes.
I mean, for sure. But, again, all these things are moving targets because, as you said, TV, they're just now beginning to throw out their TV commercials. We are now beginning to receive these messages that we haven't received in the past.
Yes.
We're trying to make some sense of it. And so lastly, in terms of, the base.
Oh, Fayard.
Fayard.
Yeah. Caroline Fayard, she has the advantage of being well-funded. She ran before. She has the support of the Landrews, which in Orleans Parish is definitely an asset. And plus, she could kind of make the argument, let's say that you're a Democrat, but you're a younger Democrat. You're seeing someone who's been in politics since the mid-1970s versus somebody who's not. That's an argument that she could make. And she's also trying to position herself as kind of a blue dog Democrat. So that has some electoral potency. So I would say that those are her assets.
Okay. Rather than a yellow dog Democrat?
Right. Foster Campbell. And what's kind of interesting? So Foster Campbell is certainly a diehard populist Democrat. I will admit being curious at the remark he made in a recent forum where he did not say that he was going to support Hillary Clinton. That to me is a Democrat running in a Democratic field where basically your votes are going to come from diehard Democrats. Right. To me, not something that you should say.
Yeah, well, I thought that was sort of strange too. But I don't know how that helps. Other than if that's how you feel, then sure, absolutely. I'm sorry.
Unless he's thinking the long game, which is once he gets into the runoff, he'll play the "I'm independent. I did not necessarily vote for Hillary Clinton" card. So but let me give you a theory I have. As a partisan candidate, you really have very little upside to not supporting your party's nominee for president, because people are going to see you're a Republican and they're just going to assume you voted that way anyway. Mm-hmm. So, for instance, John Bell Edwards, when he was running, he openly said that I voted for the Democratic nominee for president. And there wasn't really a big shock factor to that, in my opinion, because as a Democrat, that's what would be expected of him.